everyone. I hope you're all doing great today. And in this video, we are going to be painting a snowman. I'm hoping this is going to be an easy tutorial. I don't think I've painted a snowman before in Procreate, so I hope you enjoy the video and you follow along. I'm starting off with a dark background so that we don't have much contrast, but because this is a snowman, eventually we're going to have a lot of snow, white snow, into our drawing. So I'm gonna pick this light gray color and I'm using my chalk brush to start with the sketch. I need to create a new layer. Yes, I already have one. Maybe I can make it a little bit smaller, and I'll start with a circle over here. Let me just move it, make it oh, nope. Use the uniform tool to make it larger. I'll place it here. Then I'll duplicate my circle, make it even larger, and place it here. I think that's perfect. And let's create a new layer. Okay, now I want my snowman. This is the head of the snowman, and this is the body. So it's kind of like a portrait. Now I want my snowman to have a hat. And I don't know if you can hear, but it's really windy because I live up north in the UK. It's quite windy where I am almost throughout the winter. So unfortunately there's nothing I can do for the sounds at the moment. I've tried soundproofing my house, but that's the best it gets. Now I want my hat to be kind of like an oval shape, so maybe I can make it a little bit taller, right? And the hat kind of looks like the one Christopher Robin has on. Maybe can have like something like a red ribbon. I don't need this over here, so I'm just gonna erase it. It looks weird. Okay, I'm gonna start again. So again, we want the snowman to have a hat, so it goes like this. And maybe I can make it a little bit taller. And then expand it just a little bit. Okay, I think I like it so far. Now, since this is going to be a snowman, it's gonna have a face. Let's just, we assume that here is where we're gonna position the nose. It's kind of like, we're gonna use a carrot for the nose. Like, it's gonna be a Pinocchio nose. So I guess the snowman is looking upwards now, but that's okay. this is just an estimate, just to see if it, yeah, I don't mind it actually. Okay, and we have the little button. He looks weird, I like it. Okay, now I also want my snowman to have a scarf, because you know, you can't have a snowman without a scarf. And let's just, here we have the little, actually no, perfect. So here I want to have a little knot, and then the rest of the scarf goes around the neck like this. But we also have, you know, pieces of the scarf coming out of here. And I forgot what these little things are called, but if you do, let me know. No, we don't want it behind it. I think one is enough. Maybe I can do a shorter one. Overlapping. Okay, and I want one button here and another button over here. Okay. See, that's actually quite easy. Maybe I can do the eyes a little bit larger as well. Okay, he looks creepy. That's cute. So let's start with, I think we should start with shading. Let's first merge all the layers together, decrease the opacity, and I'm gonna go here, pick this color. Maybe what color? I want a red color for the scarf, so let's pick this color. And I'll use my chalk brush, why not? I'll probably try to use the minimum amount of brushes so that if you follow along, you'll be able to do so without using a huge amount of brushes. with the shading. We're not going to get into too much detail, but one way to help bring clothes to life, it's by using light and dark shades to create folds into the folds, as in, I always confuse the way I'm saying things, but Folds, folds, not folds like mistakes. I hope it makes sense. So I'm just gonna start with a darker shade red, and I'm just gonna try to create folds into the fabric of the scarf that sort of all go the same direction. And actually I want to lower the opacity, it's like really low so that I know what I'm doing. Now I want to create a new layer. It's gonna be another clip and mask, and I'm gonna use my airbrushing soft brush. Oh, that's too big. Just to create some shadows where these folds are happening. Not the folds, the knot is happening. The scarf. And I'm just going to layer it slowly. I'll use a darker color here. No. Okay, and perfect. Okay, now let's go on top of that one. Let's create a clip and mask again. I just want to pick this color to make sure that, okay, let's go in with a lighter color. I'm using the chalk brush and I'm just starting to add lighter colors on top, in between those dark shapes I created. Now, it's been a few weeks since YouTube announced that they're going to remove their dislike, and honestly, I'm not happy with it. And I understand that if you're a new creator on YouTube and you get dislikes, it's not encouraging. And when I first started YouTube, I wasn't getting any dislikes, and then when I think I had 30 something subscribers, and then all of a sudden I was getting 10 dislikes in every video, and then a few days later I will only have 1 or 2 dislikes, which was weird. So I don't know if YouTube was removing them or if it was the same person from different accounts. But I don't think it has anything to do with YouTube caring for the mental health of young creators. Maybe that's one of the reasons, but I honestly believe the reason. Just a sec. Okay, see how that's becoming 3D. Let's go in with the lighter shade. Okay. New layer, another clip and mask. What was I saying? Okay. Yeah, YouTube said that it's because of that. Other people said it's because they want to protect other large corporations. I still don't think that's entirely true, because it's not like YouTube. It's the only search engine platform out there. So if a large corporation is shady and they use YouTube, you can still tell if they're shady or not through other platforms like Reddit. I believe the reason YouTube has removed their dislikes is because they want you to spend more time on the platform than you do on TikTok or any other social media platform. Because if you can't tell, usually a lot of people would use the like and dislike ratio to decide if they're gonna watch a YouTube video or not. So they would say around, if there is an 80% like ratio to dislike ratio, then you're like, okay, that's a good video. But if it's like a 50-50, then you're like, no, I'm out of here. If you can't really see that, you have to actually watch part of the video yourself to decide that, and that causes you to spend more time on YouTube than you on any other platform, which is why I think YouTube has done that. It's because they want you to spend more time on YouTube and get back the engagement that the platform has been lacking lately. I don't think it's to protect anyone. I think it's because they want to make more money. But that's just my opinion. It's a good business move from a business side of things, but honestly, I don't know. So as you can see, as we move into the center, we're going in with lighter colors. So yes, before YouTube removed the dislike button, I was taking screenshots of all of my videos just to remember, the dislikes and the likes, and just me being able to see the numbers is something that we might not see in a long time or ever again. Okay, it's cute enough. Now, I'm not gonna merge anything actually. I'm gonna create a new layer, use the beautiful red color we've used earlier, and I'm just gonna start with the rest of the scarf here with the knot. Now let's start with another layer, clip and mask, this color, and with the chalk brush, the more pressure you apply on the brush, the larger the stroke is. Like, that's a huge. I'm applying full pressure now, then less pressure now. I'm just gonna use the eraser just to remove these, and we want to create some highlights here, and then we just want to create something that looks like a snowman. So don't feel a lot of pressure if you just add a highlight here or you add it there. It doesn't really matter. We're just having fun. Oops. Just gonna all the video requests I've been getting, I am doing videos for them, so if your request is not out, it will be. Okay, now another layer, and we're gonna work on the tail of the scarf. So we need a clip and mask again, and let's go in with a lighter color like this one, our chalk brush. Oh, I did not fill it in properly. I thought it was a little mark. Oh, sorry. Okay. And let's go ahead and create another clip and mask. Lighter shade. And I'm just gonna okay. And now we need another layer. This color. It's not a clip and mask, perfect. Great. Now I'll do the same. We'll go in with the darker color first. Great. Now, lighter color. So I'm applying light pressure here, and as I move downwards, I apply more pressure. And then I'll create another clip and mask and a lighter color like this one. Oh, I picked the wrong color. Great. hear the wind, I would just use my chalk brush again here. Not do the same here, but maybe a bit of a darker color, like this one. And I can use this much to slowly blend those upwards. Okay, perfect. Now, the next thing, actually, I want to redo the scarf there. So just, great. Now, let's start with the snowman himself. Let's merge these. These. Okay. These. Then. The mistake. These. These. Then. These. And I'm gonna go behind the scarf to start on the snowman himself. So I want to go with a color like this one and use my chalk brush again. Great. And I'll create a new layer. It's going to be a clip-in mask. I will make the brush size quite large, and I'll finally, we're gonna go in with lighter color. And the lightest shade is somewhere close to here. Maybe I can even, create some contrast over there. Okay, not too bad actually. And we want another clip and mask, a lighter shade. I'm gonna make it really small and increase the opacity, and I'm just gonna be adding little blobs of white paint onto our snowman. Great. Now, let's continue with the face of the snowman. Just gonna turn off all the layers and pick this gray color. And I'm gonna go again behind everything else. I use my chalk brush just to create the, oh, that's too big. Just to create the face of the snowman. It's not a perfect circle, but I actually like the way that it looks. Now, we'll do the same. We want a clip and mask. Let's go in with a darker color. Charcoals. Let's increase the size and lower the opacity, and we're just gonna work on creating shadows for the snowman, especially here where the hat is. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect, it needs to be actually imperfect, because snowmans never have a perfectly round shape. Snow constantly changes shape. And we're starting from the middle. We're kind of like expanding slowly. Then another layer, another clip and mask, and we'll go in with this color. Okay, and then another layer. Oh no, we don't want to invert it. We just want clip and mask. same we did earlier. Small size, large, small size brush, large number in opacity, and we want to create those little white blobs. Which brush? On our little snowman. We're just, again, tapping on the screen using our little brush. And I'm just kind of like experimenting a little bit with the sizes, but that's okay. Perfect. I want to increase the opacity of this layer just to see where the eyes are. So if I actually decrease the opacity of this one, I can see. Okay, I'll create a new layer on top of this one and go ahead and pick this cute orange color that we see here. I will go to calligraphy and use my chalk brush to give it some shape. Perfect. And let's start shading this little one. So we'll take again a darker color and we'll just start at the bottom of the carrot. Beautiful. So at the bottom we're just dragging some lines and we're just we want to make this shape look like carrot. It doesn't need to be perfect again. Just need to blur it out a bit as well. And do we have another layer? Yep. And you know how sometimes carrots have those lines that are interrupted and not all like those lines. These are the ones we're doing now on top of the dark shade we've created now. And I also want to erase part of this one just a little bit. I'll create a new layer, make it a little bit darker, and use the bonobo chalk to give my carrot some more dimension, make it look more three-dimensional than one-dimensional. So we're just adding this dark color at the bottom, like below. Beautiful. Now let's go on top with another layer again, and let's add some highlights here with the bonobo chalk. Let's just smudge them a little bit. Okay. And I'll just create another clip and mask and work on the top of the nose. Just a tiny bit, and then at the bottom of the nose to make it look more three-dimensional and real, as if like the white of the snowman's body is reflecting onto the carrot. Okay, not too bad. Let's increase the opacity of this layer as well. See, good. Now it doesn't look very realistic, does it? So I'm gonna group all these layers, duplicate the group, flatten it. I'm going to change the color to a blue color, lower the saturation this much, so because I want it to match the snowman's color, sorry. And I'll take it. Let me just zoom out. No. See? And I can't distort it the way I want it. So I'm guessing freeform. Perfect. Let's just rotate it a little bit. I will bring it below this group and I will just blur it out. Then, because it looks like it's on a flat surface instead of a circular one, that's what I'm gonna do. And finally, I'm going to erase it with my soft brush, just a little bit. Okay, I'll do the same with the scarf, because the scarf looks like it's floating in comparison to the snowman. So let's just group. What did we do wrong? Oh, also pick that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Group these little guys, duplicate, flatten. I'm gonna bring it here. I'm gonna make it darker and less saturated. I don't see it now, but freeform. And I'm just gonna bring it here like this. I'm also gonna distort it. Okay. And I will blur it out this much. Okay, beautiful. Now we will go on top of the nose. The start working on the eyes of our snowman. Let's make this one a little bit larger because it's closer to us. Okay, beautiful. Now let's lower the opacity of this layer, and we'll need to create a new layer, clip and mask, and just work on some highlights on the eyes. So we're applying more pressure, and as we go in the outer part of the eye, we're applying less pressure. More pressure, less pressure, more pressure, less pressure. And I'll do the same with a lighter color and a smaller brush. So more pressure, still more, and now it's less. More pressure, and now it's less pressure. And because I want it to look a little bit realistic, I'm going to use this color and just create little texture around the eyes. Like this. Okay, and lastly, let's add the little smile on the snowman's face, which are the little buttons we talked about earlier. We can do them dark brown. That would be better, I think. And let's use the chalk brush again. We're just creating circles, one next to the other, with this brown color. So now with the layer turned off, great, not too bad. And I'll duplicate the layer and just blur the one in the back a little bit, like this, and also lower the opacity. Okay, great. Now let's work on the hat of our little snowman. mask, and we'll go in with a dark color using the bonobo chalk. Just to give it some texture. Okay. And I'll also go in with a lighter color here at the bottom. I know it doesn't look very good right now, but we'll turn on the clip and mask and you'll see. Okay, great. Now, just create another clip and mask, and I use where is the charcoals, okay. I'll lower the brush size and just okay, not too bad. Then I'll work on the top part of the hat, which is going to be equally dark, I think, at first, and then we will start adding some more layers. Maybe let's go lighter. Okay. Now, let's create. Actually, let's work on the shading of the hat using the bonobo chalk again. So let's increase the brush size. Let's do a lighter color. It looks really cute actually, so that's good. And do it again, another light color. Great. do the same with the hat. Or instead of doing this, let me just go here. I'll just work on little on the contrast here. Okay, perfect. And here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna paint some snow on top of the snowman. So we will need another layer, a color like this one. Okay, and we will use the charcoals to help it come to life. So maybe we can and we're just painting circular motions all around the snowman. It kind of looks like soap bubbles. I love it. Okay, and maybe we can start on the scarf. So we're just actually painting with little circular motions. And the charcoal brush is perfect for this because it's not too opaque and it can be transparent at times, which helps with the snow effect a lot. And maybe I can add some snow over here as well. Okay, and let's work on the hat as well. same brush, so you wanna okay. And the nose is going to be actually what makes the painting come to life. The nose is actually making everything look 3D, three-dimensional. Lastly, one last layer with light colors. Maybe I can actually use the carbon stick. I like this one, okay? Okay. I actually don't like it, so I will go in with maybe where is it? My chalk brush, and I'm just gonna create little circular motions on top of everything else, just to make the edges a little bit sharper. we're just adding little white dots, and when we apply more pressure onto our brush, they appear larger. Okay, so I think that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found it relaxing, and I'll see you in my next one. Sweet dreams.